Hey everybody, and welcome back to Eat the World. I'm Chef Alex Lazik, and today I'm talking about another set in my series on authenticity. Basically, it's me having a rant about bullshit culinary gimmicks. Guys, if you could, please like, subscribe, and comment below, and stick around to the end, and I'll be revealing the results of today's experiment. I've got a salty episode for you today again. So today we're going over something that I've seen on the internet a fair bit, and I wanted to give it a try. It pains me. It really pains me. Anyways, I wanted to give it a try because it looks like a pile of shit. It's just stupid. It is stupid, don't get me wrong, but it's just the whole premise behind it. It's just pointless. It's like needless. It's like a gimmick. It is. It's a total gimmick. A snake oil salesman would be selling this. Why don't you come on over here and get some famous snake oil? And honestly, most of the videos I've seen about this on YouTube are people trying to sell it. Cooking food on a Himalayan salt block. Have you seen this before? Right. Here's some amazing pseudoscience for you in the culinary world, which people on the internet fucking love.
You've probably heard about some of the magical things a Himalayan salt lamp can do for you. Food cures through contact. Raw foods like sashimi will actually begin to cure the longer they rest on the salt block. This is fascinating to watch for both children and adults.
While doing some research on it, I found out there's a lot of benefits when you cook with one of these. Like, I don't know, balance your pH level, help you hydrate your body, acid reflux, all types of science things that I'm not even really worried about.
The fuck are you talking about?
Science things.
Do you know what a salt shaker is? I've never heard of anything so stupid in my life. Well, probably putting ice cubes on your hamburger. That's probably up there with being stupid. Now I get it. And like most of the people that I've seen advertising this are saying, oh, well, elevate your dinner party. It's like, okay, yeah, great, you'll have a talking point. Like if I was there, I'd be talking about how much of an idiot you are. But that's fine. Now, I hope you all get that I'm just having fun here. I'm not this angry, but like, it just helps get my point across, I think. Like, let's take a look at some of the food that these people make on here.
You can taste it in this. It's still hot. Let's try the meat inside. Hold on. So on the skin, you could taste the salt, the pink salt.
Now these steaks are probably wonderful just like this. However, I need the charcoal flavor.
Look, I'm not being funny, but hard out. That is the crappiest shit I've seen in a long time. I'm gonna do an experiment. I'm gonna do an experiment. Let me have an open mind. I'm not gonna have an open mind. But I'm gonna be fair and do this. I'm gonna cook a chicken breast on a Himalayan salt block. Now, if you look at these recipes that people have, you're not supposed to put any seasoning on there, maybe just pepper, because you wanna taste the Himalayan minerals, whatever. So I'm gonna cook one chicken breast on the salt block, and I'm gonna cook a chicken breast in a frying pan the conventional way and see which one has more flavor. We'll give this experiment a try and see how we get on. So I got one of these Himalayan salt blocks and I paid the cheap price of $40 for it. $40 for a piece of salt. Anyways, the things that I do for you people. So let's get started. Okay, so we're grating some of our Himalayan pink salt, to be fair. So we know it comes from the same block of salt when we go to get and taste our flavor. Okay, so here is our Himalayan pink salt that we've grated off the old block, as it were. And this will be more than enough for us to season one chicken breast. So we're about to get started. We've got our cast iron skillet at the back. We've got our salt block right here. We've got our two identical chicken breasts. And so the salt block we have to cook without any seasoning. They just recommend doing pepper, and you're gonna get all the flavor from the minerals in that salt block. Back here, I'm pretending we're at a dinner party, and this is how we would do our chicken breast if we were at a dinner party, on the salt block. And I'm gonna cook the other chicken breast in the cast iron skillet, how I would normally do it for a dinner party or just having dinner for myself. So this one, we're just gonna have the flavor, the magical minerals of the Himalayan salt block. And back here, we're just gonna use some traditional culinary techniques and flavors to make a real simple sauteed chicken breast. So let's get started. Chicken breast skin side down on the salt block. We've got our olive oil in here in the back. For our other chicken breast, we'll put that skin side down as well. Once we put our chicken on the back there, we're going to season it with our Himalayan pink salt that we grated earlier. We'll just put some pepper on this. Now we'll also season our Himalayan chicken breast at the front. But I am going to go ahead and season up the skin with our Himalayan pink salt that we grated. So at this stage, I'm going to throw in a couple of cloves of my crushed garlic in the back. Help it start imparting some flavor to that chicken breast. I'm also going to throw in a sprig of fresh thyme.
Three hours later.
Looks like it might be ready to flip, so we're going to give it a flip now. It's not bad. I would have liked it a little bit more, but we'll take what we've got there. I'm going to put some pepper on here now. Oh, but I'll tell you what, the smell of this chicken is incredible. That fresh thyme's coming out, the garlic's coming out. Beautiful stuff. Now, normally I'd probably finish these in the oven, but I thought, well, we'll just give this a try, and we'll see how we go. I know if I control the heat that I'll be able to have perfect results, but ideally you'd want to cook this in the oven. But the idea behind the Himalayan salt is that it's cooked on a flame or a grill on top of the stove or on top of your barbecue. So we're just going to do that. You see those beautiful brown bits there? That's the Maillard reaction, the caramelization happening on the bottom of that cast iron pan. So we're going to, at this stage, throw in a nice knob of butter, and we're going to start basting this chicken breast a little bit with the butter. Well, the Himalayan pink salt's coming along slowly. You see it's still pink there quite a bit. That's alright, we'll just leave it go in no hurry. Okay, so chicken in the bag looks pretty done to me. I'm going to take it off the heat and let it rest. Okay, so that Himalayan chicken breast looks about done to me. Let's take that off and rest it. Now, this is the bit that breaks my heart a bit. Like, see all that? That's all the caramelization of the proteins. That's the Maillard reaction happening. And that's where a lot of flavor is that I've reintroduced back into the other chicken breast.
Science things.
It's kind of lost on the stone because you couldn't take that off now. It would just be inedibly salty. And now I've got to clean this mess up. We're ready to taste now. So I'm going to start with the Himalayan chicken breast. Got a nice crispy skin. I mean, it looks beautifully golden brown. I can see, you probably can't see it on here, but there's little crusts of salt there, which kind of makes me a little bit nervous. But let's try it. Cooked beautifully, nice and juicy. Oh, let's give this a try. Okay, well, that's a cooked chicken breast, that's for sure. I'm just finding it really hard to get excited about it. I mean, it's nice and moist, and just because I've cooked it nicely. There's nothing exciting about it. It's a piece of cooked chicken. Is it seasoned enough? Yeah, it's got enough salt in it. That piece anyways, but you see right back here, I don't know if you can see it. It's got like quite a lot of salt on it, but let me try it. Seems to be a fattier kind of piece too. Yeah, it's a little bit salty, but you know, it's not the end of the world. If I bought that in a restaurant, I'd be thoroughly unimpressed with it. Right, we'll try the other one. So this is the one we've traditionally done. Tell you what, I'm going back for seconds. Okay, it's pretty obvious what's going on here. Traditional pan-fried chicken basted in butter with some thyme and garlic and its own juices. It tastes amazing. You've got the caramelization of the flavors basted over the whole chicken breast. It's moist, it's juicy, it's well seasoned. It is perfect. Why would you spend $40 on a salt block to have some salt and pepper chicken that you can't really control the heat on when you're cooking it? Seriously, it's a gimmick. It's stupid. Use some basic cooking techniques. Master your perfect cooking techniques. Learn how to control the heat on your stove. Use the tried and tested cooking methods. You can do whatever flavors you want to it, but if you stick to the basics. Okay, I think I've made my point. Himalayan rock salt slab. It's fantastic. I think it's great marketing. Really gullible people are all over that, and good for you. Don't waste your money, people. Just learn how to cook properly. Okay, so that's it. Himalayan Salt Block experiment. I think that goes to show you that don't listen to bullshit. If it looks like bullshit, it is bullshit. Don't go looking for gimmicks. I'd be way more impressed with somebody who cooked a quality piece of food in a good way with some nice seasoning. If you start throwing gimmicks at stuff, you're just making yourself look cheap and tacky. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed letting me have a rant today. I certainly enjoyed ranting, which I love to do. So check out my website. I've got a blog on authenticity, and I'll be following it up with a couple of other blogs on authenticity, including my review of burgers and Himalayan salt blocks. Now please, please, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe.